Hey, do you want to run faster?
Or jump higher.
Well, that's not going to happen to you today because we're talking about
The muscular system. There are more than 600 muscles in our body, and there are tiny ones to big ones. They're also arranged in many layers, and each layer supports our muscles differently. Muscles also take up 40% of our body weight. Now, here's the three types of muscles. There is skeletal muscle, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscle.
skeletal muscle is a form of striated muscle tissue which is under the control of the somatic nervous system, which just means it's voluntarily controlled. Skeletal muscle is made up of individual components known as myocytes, sometimes called muscle fibers. The muscles are attached to bones by tendons. Muscles contract to produce movement.
And the nervous system controls these muscles. And there are two types of skeletal muscles.
Slow twitch muscles are efficient in using oxygen and do not fatigue easily. They're best suited for endurance sports, including cycling, marathon running, and long-distance triathlons. Whereas fast twitch muscles do not burn oxygen to create energy. They're fast to fire and they're best for explosive body movements, but they tire out quickly. They're best suited for sprinting races, pole vaulting, and CrossFit style events. Smooth muscles, also known as visceral muscles, are involuntary. They're found in the walls of many organs and contract and relax. The wave-like movements help pass food through intestines or even urine through the blood.
And so for cardiac muscles, it's made out of branching muscle fibers. This is only found in the heart. This muscle relies on blood and electrical supply, and it pumps blood from heart through other parts of our bodies.
Diseases and disorders. Duchenne is the most common type of muscular dystrophy. It's caused by a defective gene called dystrophin. Dystrophin helps muscles keep their shape and strength. Without it, muscles break down and the person becomes weaker. Symptoms usually start between ages 2 and 6, and by 10, children will often need a wheelchair. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. In Greek, A means no or negative, myo means muscle, and trophic means nourishment. So ALS affects nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. Motor neurons reach from the brain to the spinal cord and from spinal cord to muscle. When the motor neurons die, the brain's ability to initiate and control muscle movement is lost. Patients with ALS often become paralyzed and die. There is no cure for ALS, but there are medicines to help soothe pain. Riluzole is an approved drug for the treatment of ALS. How it works is not exactly known, but it seems to prevent the damage that can result from the nerve cell being overexcited by glutamate. Studies have shown that it may improve functioning and survival,
But because of the potential side effects involving the liver, close monitoring by your doctor is required.
Harvard stem cell scientists have discovered that a recently approved medication for epilepsy might be a meaningful treatment for ALS. Researchers are now collaborating with Massachusetts General Hospital to design an initial clinical trial testing the safety of the treatment in ALS patients. Colleagues Kevin Egan and Clifford Wolf have found that many independent mutations that cause ALS may be linked by their ability to trigger abnormally high activity in motor neurons.
Using neurons derived from stem cells made from ALS patient skin cells, the two research teams conducted clinical trials of the anti-epilepsy medication on neurons in laboratory dishes, finding that it reduced the cell's hyperexcitability.
Beginning in 2014, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge was used to raise awareness of ALS and encourage donations to research.
So of course there are ways to stay healthy, and cardio workouts are one of them. Cardio strengthens our heart and it lowers our blood pressure. Strength and resistance training can enlarge and firm our muscle. Potassium is one of the major minerals responsible for regulating fluids and mineral balance in and out our body cells. And it also helps transmit nerves impulses and helps our muscles contract. But having it too much can cause elevated blood pressure and muscle cramps. Eating foods that has calcium in it also helps. Calcium is very important to muscular function. If the calcium in our blood runs low, our body will take the calcium from our bones for use. Calcium is one of the minerals that our body contains the most. Calcium assists in muscular contractions and it regulates the rate of contraction of our cardiac muscles.
Fun fact! Surprisingly, the strongest muscle in the body is the masseters, which is the jaw. Also, muscle fibers don't grow, they only get thicker.
The smooth muscles keep our eyes focused, and it pushes the baby out when it's time to be born. Eyes may be the busiest muscles. Also, taking one step requires 200 muscles.
Smiling takes 17 muscles, but frowning takes 43. So, smile.